My name is Captain Charles Randolph. I am a forward air controller with 1st Anglico. Anglico is the first air naval gunfire liaison company, and our primary mission is to provide Navy and Marine Corps fire support to non-Navy and Marine Corps units. So our expertise lies in fire support. So the unit consists primarily of joint terminal attack controllers, forward air controllers, joint fires observers, artillery forward observers, and radio operators are the main MOSs that reside within Anglico. And we are task organized to be able to attach to different sized partner units, whether it's an Army company or a partner nation battalion, what have you. We can provide all the fire support kind of command and control structure and expertise in employing the fire support to that unit. We have been out at the Camp Grayling impact area working with AC-130s, Army National Guard 155 millimeter artillery. We also were controlling airdrops for both Air Force Special Operations Squadrons and the French Air Commando unit that was out here. And then doing some of our own individual maneuver training at a unit level also on cold weather survival training. That's one way to describe it. There were fun parts of it, other parts that were a little more challenging mentally and physically, but overall a very good training venue. The exposure to AC-130 call for fire, that's not something that we get to do a lot of. It's a low density, high demand asset, so getting all my guys on the hooks to talk to the AC-130 and work call for fire missions with them was highly beneficial. We had also built a training day where we were going to integrate air and surface fires together with AC-130s and the National Guard artillery. Didn't work out because of weather, but just going through the planning process of that was also highly beneficial. I'd say those are the two main takeaways, that and then being a unit from Southern California, we don't get a lot of exposure to cold weather as well, so this has been highly beneficial in that regard. Overall training objectives for us were to integrate with SOF and partner nations, as well as other conventional forces, and we achieved all three of those. So we worked with the French, AFSOC, and the Army National Guard conventional units. Cold weather training and exposure to the elements, obviously achieved that. There's lots of snow on the ground here. We spent the night out on a couple occasions to exercise that. And then also the liaison piece, where that's in the name of our unit, and so trying to be the connecting file between multiple different entities and working in the C2 structure to make that happen between multiple entities is also part of it as well. We also achieved that. It's been good. So we've gotten a lot of exposure with different ways, different services do things. So I was in the JOC for a good portion of it, working with AC-130 liaison officers as well as the SOF liaison officers, intelligence, and I would say some of the struggles with interoperability, even within the DoD. We all have different data networks, so that was a little bit of a pain getting myself plugged into the data network here. Worked around it, came up with solutions. So there's always ways to make things happen, and it's all about just getting to know people and talking to them and finding creative solutions as a team. Challenges that we faced, some communications issues, at least for me personally. On 2 occasions while I was out there, my radios were not working well, and we had to roll to alternate communications plans, which was by either visual signals, for instance, with the airdrop. And then the cold, just dealing with the kind of developing some mental toughness of staying outside for long periods of time in the cold and sleeping outside in the cold that was definitely a challenge. I'd say those are probably the main things. I guess and a little bit of the tyranny of distance as well. So with the training sites for this exercise being so geographically disparate, that created some friction in terms of coordination between different entities and making sure that everyone was on the same sheet of music. Again, worked through it, some creative solutions to make sure that everybody was tracking what was going on, but sometimes it would come down to the last minute, so that was also a challenge. I would say the greatest success was that we had on our end was the integration of the Army National Guard Reserve unit. So we had 5 of their JFOs attached to us for the duration of the exercise, integrated them into our team and our training. And having them with us was highly beneficial, just again for exposure to how the Army and the National Guard does things. But that went pretty seamlessly. Those guys were all pretty good to go. JFO is a Joint Fires Observer, and SOF is Special Operations Forces.